basically taking the choice away from whoever the person is. Because here's one thing that we got in common. Well, a lot of things that happen in America.
I'm not saying that, but what I am saying as a woman, at 13, 14 years old, I was aware that I could get pregnant. So, the reality of it is, one, for me, I can't speak for everybody else. I stayed out of harm's way. I didn't participate in no, crap that I knew I had no business doing, or putting myself in a predicament where I knew something dangerous could happen to me. Two, by the time I had a choice, they had clinics that would give girls birth control pills. So if I was walking home one night from school and somebody decided to rape me, guess what? I was on the pill. So it's different ways to look at things. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. If you know you're a woman and you're not ready to conceive, whether you raped or not, take some preventative measures to protect yourself from things like that.
Hmm?
It's funny. It's funny how this is a topic. This is the year 2019, and we're talking about something. Yeah, protect yourself.
Yeah,
but we're talking about rape. But at the age that a young woman, comes into her menstruation, it's like
coming to her
at that point, cycle. Period.
Oh,
It's respectively referred to as a menstruation. So anyway, like I said, once that daughter or that niece or somebody should be having that talk. Somebody should be saying anything could happen. It's not that most women, when they talk about birth control, they lay it out like if a young lady's taking birth control, she's fast and you're going to give her permission to have sex or something like that. It don't always have to go like that. No, that's not true.
That's a lie. If you
listen.
Or putting on the shot, you tell me it's okay to fuck.
No, you're not. You're not telling her that.
What you telling if you put on birth control on the shot?
Listen. If you was a woman, you would understand. But since you're not, I'm going to have to ask you to hear me out.
Okay, come on. I'm going to hear you out.
Now, my point is this. For instance, my parents were elderly when they raised me. My grandparents raised me. They didn't have time to be looking around every corner to make sure I was all right. I went to a rough school, and I had to walk every night after practice home. Had I not had sense enough to take birth control pills and something happened to me, guess what? I would have been in the same number of people we talking about. Everything's not black and white all the time. Some situations are a little bit more complex than we want to make it to be. Can you imagine how many females, have contracted pregnancy, have gotten pregnant by relatives, incest or something like that, and it was out of their hands? If their parents had been realistic, understand, okay, my daughter is at the age that she can conceive a child right now. I don't want nothing to happen to her, that'll take away, her mental space for the rest of her life. So I'm going to be real, and I'm going to just put her on the shot or the pill or something. That way if something happens, if she walking home and somebody decides to grab her and rape her, at least she won't be pregnant. That way if some pervert in the family corners her and have sex with her while nobody's looking or something, she's not pregnant. It's a way to prevent things. We just got to wake up and be real about it. And with your daughters, you have to protect them, period. That's not calling them a hoe. That's teaching them life.
I agree at one point, but another point I don't. Because the truth is, you completely taking away the choice to do something. That's like saying, and then you being discriminatory about it, because it's being kind of hypocritical, because men don't have to do it. None of that you just said. Man ain't got to do it. We don't even have a choice like that to make, or preventive, or
control how Nobody can
but
control
the
how
same
spirits
but the
behave.
same thing happened to
That was
men.
the
Not to mention it's psychological damage also, just the fact that the person got raped in the first place.
That's
So
understood, but you eliminate one portion of that by being real about it.
you can eliminate a portion
Eliminate
of it.
one portion.
You
of
can
that
eliminate a
by
portion
being
of it
real
just
about
by being in your
Yes,
kid's life
many
instead of
mothers-
letting them walk home by themselves, walk with them.
Just how many mothers left their daughter home with freaky ass boyfriends,
Bad decision
you
making.
know, and they end up getting pregnant when they could have been a real.
And then not to mention
not left that person around that boyfriend, and two, put them on some type of contraceptive.
And then not to mention everybody
You know,
can't
in this
take
game, you can't worry about what other people's thoughts are. You got to play chess, not checkers.
but then everybody can't do that. Everybody body can accept chemicals or birth control or IUDs or
Understandable. And
it's not for everybody. So what about the people that
Those
can't take
parents-
any of that? What about
Most
them?
parents need to make wiser choices. As humans, we'll always find fault with everything everybody else do. But the point is, what can you do?
Yeah, I would say take care of your kids, but I would say I managed to raise 4 daughters and ain't then one of them got pregnant. Well, I'm sorry, 3. Really, I say 4, but one of them kind of adopted. But ain't then one of them got pregnant. Not before they was supposed to.
You know, exactly.
They ain't got, and it didn't have to put them on birth control, and didn't have to give them a contraceptive, and didn't have to put them on something for preventive. I just was being an actual around the parent to prevent a lot of that from happening, or making good decisions. But
unless you're gonna do that.
But to
unless
tell
somebody's gonna be the type of parent that you been to your girls, they better wake up.
But to tell somebody that they need to prepare themselves in case their daughter get raped, like preventive, is insane a little bit. That's a little crazy. I mean, we ain't living in.
Well, don't be real about it.
We ain't living in a third world. We ain't living in a third world country now. I mean, you know.
Don't be real about it. We ain't living in a third world country, but a lot of stuff in these southern states get swept under the rug.
A lot of stuff from a lot of things from irresponsible parents. Everybody I ever hear a story about something like that happening, it ends up being somebody did something terribly goddamn irresponsible. And truth be told, listen, truth be told, none of this stuff we're talking about is 99%. So you still get pregnant. None of this stuff is 99%. There's no.
It's the perfect method.
That's what I'm saying. So you still have the problem, and now you can't get the child aborted. Now, what would you rather have? This is how I look at it. What would you rather have? You rather have a child grow up and be completely neglected, a person that hate them, a person that's going to mistreat them, or then you're saying when you're adopted, you want to put them in the system. Every person I know that's adopted that was a foster kid did not enjoy it. I have not ever met one that enjoyed it yet. When I say they're going to the extreme, I agree with when you get to a point of you in that trimester where it's a heartbeat, baby form, and all that, I agree. You shouldn't. But when it's like that's the debate is where life begins. That's the debate part, is where life begins. You have to know where life begins to be able to say that you even took a life. But then would you rather her to be a distraught mother and wait till later on and drown all the kids in the car?
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you making them keep the baby, I mean, you taking it, because some people, let's just be real, some people are unstable as shit and they just should not have fucking children. There's that. They just unstable. Because I mean, you got to think about it. When you can't blanket say that about everything, because it's some people like somebody might rape or Lord, I'm trying to think of politically correct word, but you know, it is what it is. A retarded person, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody that was way too elderly to actually be able to carry a child. And then you got medical reasons where some people, it will kill them to try to have a baby. It's a ridiculous amount of reasons. That's why I said it's too broad. It's like straight across the board. No, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, for example, my partner's wife had their baby and die, and they advised them against it. So you're taking the chance of losing the baby and the damn mama because you like, well, ain't no such thing as abortion no more. We're not doing that. Blase, blase. And moving on. Then you have accidental death, because nothing is 100%. I know people that got their tubes tied, them damn tubes and came untied, and they were pregnant as fuck. I know jokers that took birth control pill, and they took them exactly right, but the one thing they forget is a 98 or 99.9% chance, but it's still that 1 in a 10% that your ass get pregnant. Every once in a while, that bullshit happen. They'll say nothing is 100%. So it's not really, I think everybody gets confused that they feel like it's talking about people being careless and having babies. And that's not really what we're talking about. Because I said, like, statistically, the people that really don't want to have babies are not having babies. It's actually working. Like, they doing IUD, birth control, they're doing something, but they're not having no damn baby. Like, it's a bunch. In fact, this last 2 generations probably the ones that's the most that are having babies. That the whole birthing thing has went down because of them, because a lot of them are like 30 years old, 27 years old, 25 years old, and don't have no children. Because they don't want to have kids. So for the most part, it worked. Hell, my sister's example, she's 50 damn years old. She ain't got no child, and she ain't ever want to have none, so she didn't have one. But the thing is, that's another thing. Like, say for instance, somebody get raped at 70 or 60, and they can still birth a child, but here, birth a child, they might have high diabetes, all this. Now, the child gonna be born sickly, and you damn if to kill the person having the baby. Sometimes it's right. A necessary tool. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you find it just depends on the circumstance. What happened? It's more like I would rather hear it say it's a case by case basis. Plus, everything that you're saying, you're basically telling the person what to do with their body. Where are we living in where you completely lose what you can do to your own body? You should be able to do whatever the hell you want. We are in America now.
At the end of the day.
I mean, you basically saying you want to dictate what the next person do to their body. I mean, in a nutshell, that's what you said.
Everything, regarding this topic is placed on women. But here's the thing. They make, men can have vasectomies. They even get a V-gel now.
Exactly. And that's what I was getting at. I said, like, for example, they have nothing that makes men do any of that. I said, like, the closest they got to it is, I think if you're married, your wife would have to sign to let you get a vasectomy. If you're married.
Yeah. Same way if she get her tubes tied.
Yeah. But other than that, that is it. A man don't have to do none of that shit. And all the same stuff that we talking about can happen to men. He can be in incest. He can mess around and get tricked into having a baby. He can get raped. He can get it happens all the time. Statutory rape, child molesting, all that shit. It happens. Look at these teachers that been getting pregnant by these damn boys. It happens all the time. But you don't see no stipulation. I'm just saying it seems a little hypocritical. That's all I'm saying. You don't see no stipulations or nobody trying to say exactly a man should be doing all the same bullshit and dictating how a man's supposed to,
But now, putting a spin on things and looking at the current healthcare system, we're in a healthcare system right now where basically if you don't work at a company that provides you with health insurance, let's be real about something. The majority of these cases of abortion, they happen to, I would say, without looking at statistics, low income and poverty stricken people who can't afford proper medical care.
Oh no, you can't put no abortion on your health insurance now.
You got some. Wait a minute.
Medicaid ain't gonna pay for your abortion.
What happens when you have? And I'm not saying they will.
Oh.
But what happens when you have some under the table backwoods doctor that says, well, if you come to me, I got an office out in the woods, in Baton Rouge in the bayou somewhere. You can come on the day that the moon is full and I'll perform your abortion.
And that's what's going to happen when you outlaw abortion. That's what's going to happen. Did you know statistically that stillbirths and women dying like that in birth and stuff was down for the simple fact that places that allowed abortion? Because some people just don't supposed to have babies. Like, in fact, they after we had my son, they advised my wife to not have no more kids because it strained one of her heart valves or something. So it's a chance that it could kill you.
Right.
So she ain't had no kids. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Now, this is me. If I'm sitting in there, my wife come and tell me she 2 weeks pregnant, and it's a choice between risking losing her and the baby that ain't even here yet, and her, period, we finna have an abortion. I'm not finna do that. Why would you risk that? That's insane. So now you done lost 2 people. Now all the rest of your kids ain't got no mama. I'm just saying that is a circumstance that somebody at some point would have to face. That the government